Kia ora whānau, no mai haere mai, ko Trish Higginson, tuku ingoa, he kaimahi aho e whānau whina Plunket. My name is Trish Higginson and I'm a Plunket line nurse with whānau whina Plunket. And we're here today to have a wee kōrero with you with a very important subject. I have my colleague Donna here and she's going to start us off with a karakia. Ngā mihi, Donna.
Kia mihi, Trish. Kia ora koutou katoa. He inoi tātou. E te tino tapu, nau te mana, nau te tūmana ko me te aroha. Ho mai he ngā kau kitea, kia mahia he tirohanga. Ho mai he ngā kau mōhio, kia marama te whakaaro. Ho mai he ngā kau atawhai, kia mari e te mahi. Ho mai he ngā kau tika, kia hua te ora. Amene. Now just translate that. This is a karakia from Tupuna Parenting by Elizabeth Hart. So the translation reads, source of all tapu, source of all mana, source of hope, source of love. Grant a seeing heart for clarity of sight. Grant a knowing heart for clarity of understanding. Grant a gentle heart for calmness of action. Grant a right heart for fulfillment of life. Amene. Kia ora, ko tōna whain tōku ingoa. He uru no mai makatū ki Tungariro, ko ngongata te maunga, ko utahina te awa, ko te para haia hoatu, hoata, me mahai oku marae. Ko ngā te whakaue, ko ngā te tūwhare tō, ko ngā te mahina, oku iwi, ko te aroa te waka. Yes, welcome to our session today. My name is Donna Fain. I'm a national educator living here in Tamaki Makaurau. And SUDI prevention has been one of my passions for quite a few years lately. Yeah, so that's me, Trish.
Kia ora, Donna. So, ka pai whānau, thank you for joining us today. We're going to be having a kōrero around why safe sleep practices are so important, how parents and whānau can create a safe sleep environment for Pēpi. And I just need to warn whānau watching today who are joining us online today, we will be discussing some potentially sensitive subjects and topics. We're here to talk about safe sleep and prevention of SUDI, which refers to sadly, the death of infants or Pēpi. So please do keep this in mind. If you're finding this topic difficult or upsetting, we do understand. And we are sharing some support services in the banner at the bottom of the screen as we go through our kōrero today. So to start with, why is safe sleep so important, Donna?
Well, I think we're all well aware, if baby's not having a safe sleep, there are going to be detrimental consequences. And many SUDI deaths can be prevented. So SUDI being the acronym Sudden Unexpected Death in Infancy. And we can, by using safe sleep practices, we can make sure baby's bed and sleeping space are safe for them. And just to put it out there, 60 to 70% of babies suddenly die in their sleep every year in Aotearoa. And unfortunately, the majority of those Pēpi are Māori. And it's not a race that we are very proud of to be winning. We don't want a gold medal for our statistics in the SUDI space. So safe sleeping is an important kaupapa to keep our babies safe.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is a tragedy indeed that we all want to do what we can to prevent and help support whānau to prevent that from happening in every way we can. So what are some of the do's and don'ts of creating a safe sleep space for Pēpi to sleep, Donna?
Okay, so research has shown us that there's two major risk factors We have our modifiable risk factors and we have our non-modifiable risk factors. Okay, so our non-modifiable risk factors would be low birth weight, congenital defects, and other medical issues. So modifiable ones that we're looking at to prevent SUDI are mainly bed sharing. Now, bed sharing means that you're actually sleeping with your baby in the same bed or sharing the same sleeping space with baby. And the second highest risk factor is smoking. So smoking while you're hapu, and also smoking, other smoking in the environment around you. So in your whare, in your waka, in your home, in your car, smoking is another major risk factor associated with that. So if we look at changing those behaviours, this is going to reduce the SUDI statistic rates. So with that, yeah.
And that's something that the whole whānau can engage in, trying to have a smoke-free home for Pēpi, and that's going to be beneficial for all whānau.
Exactly, and that's what we're promoting. This isn't just about your one Pēpi. This is about your whole whānau, your whole hapuri, everybody being involved, your village, your village around you. So that's what we're talking about.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
And grandparents being there for their mokopuna as they grow.
Exactly.
So what are the physical things that we can do? A firm mattress, and we want to make sure baby's facing the heavens so the airway is open.
Definitely.
Is there anything else that you can add to that, Donna?
Well, obviously, to have their own sleep space, so their own bed, and whether that looks like a bassinet, a cot, a Pēpi pod, or a wahakura, as long as they're in their own sleep space. Even if it comes down to have to make a makeshift bed space for baby. So we want them low, we want them so that there's nothing like there's going to be no interference from other family members or pets, but we also want them so they're not going to roll off any bed, any high.
So one of those one of those modifiable factors would be suffocation, wouldn't it? Because that can happen when you're bed sharing.
Exactly. So having them in their own space, in their own bedding, and then we also look at the bedding. So just for example, I'll use the wahakura as an example as a safe bed space. So the whānau mama, whoever the caregiver person is, that main person responsible for baby, would like to have the baby as close to them as possible, but a safe distance. So if you're using a Pēpi pod or a wahakura, that can actually sit on the bed right beside you. So you've got easy access to baby. You can just lift your head and have a look and see if baby's all right. They're going to have their own blankets, and they're going to be tucked into their own blankets. So positioning baby in bed is very important as well. How you position baby. You don't want you want the bedding to sort of be at chest level, and you want baby to be nice and snug in that bed, and on their back, obviously, on their back, looking up te rangi nui, and they've got their back flat on the mattress, on exactly what you were saying about the mattress, that firm mattress. A lot of whānau think that the firm mattress looks very thin and uncomfortable for baby, but this isn't the case. This isn't the case. That the mattress is firm so that baby is not going to sink down into the mattress. Their face is not going to turn and be suffocated by the soft mattress that they've now melted down into. And also there's not going to be any pillows, there's not going to be any toys in that bed. It's just going to have baby, the bedding, the light bedding, and we also suggest natural products. We want pure cotton, we want merino or wool, so that these are breathable fabrics. And also
so no polar fleece?
No, unfortunately, polar fleece is so nice and soft and quite colourful.
Mm.
We've got some beautiful patterns out there, and they're okay if they're in the on a pram or on the top, but not to be wrapped in, because these polar fleece are actually made from recycled plastic. So if you're going to
Mm.
wrap baby up in that beautiful soft blanket, they're eventually going to overheat, and then when they
Mm.
overheat, they're going to sweat. Then they're
Mm.
going to get chills from their sweat. Apart from having a very unsettled baby, you're going to have a very sick baby. So
Absolutely. And keeping baby at a proper temperature is very important, because babies don't have the ability to regulate their temperature, because the hypothalamus, the temperature control center in the brain, is not developed, which
that's
is even more important. So layers on and layers off according to how Pēpi's feeling, and
yes.
very much so in the bedding situation. If it's a hot day, layers of cotton, and I know a lot of whānau use sleep sacks.
Mm-hmm.
So all of those things, if you have any pātai around that, just put it in the chat and we can have a kōrero about that. So what advice would you offer whānau dealing with the Pēpi that's struggling to settle in their own sleep space, Donna?
Well, there are a few reasons that why that could be. So you're troubleshooting, really,
Mm,
because it could be babies has a upset tummy from feeding. Maybe might have
yeah.
fed too fast, so baby needs a bit longer to be winded, or may
Mm,
have reflux. If general settling, like they've tried so many things, um, you can always look at, like you could have an ori. You could settle
okay.
baby in the wahakura and do a bit of a lullaby. You could have a rocking thing. Just be whatever strategy that you pick for yourself to settle baby, because it is going to be one that you're comfortable with and you think baby relates to it. Is that if you get baby used to this? I've had one that's had a parent on one of those yoga balls, and so they sit there and they go
Oh.
bounce, 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 bounce. And when baby goes anywhere
Ah,
else, it's settled. There's no ball there to settle
the
with.
motion. Yeah, the motion. They love the motion.
Yes,
And Pēpi, particularly newborns, love to be close to whānau, to their mum and dad. And that's so important, that bonding and nurturing. And I love
yes,
that you mentioned, Donna, about having that familiar waiata or routines around communicating and nurturing and
mm,
connectedness with Pēpi, because they are born with all these millions of neurotransmitters in their brains, and all these interactions with parents boost those brain pathways. And the brain pathways around sleep we can develop so that they have a familiarity and an association with the things, like when mum sings a song, that's bedtime,
yes,
or when it's low lighting and it's dark, that's time to go to sleep. And newborns are developing that sense of connectedness. So the more that parents can engage with children in a way that's familiar, that helps
mhm,
create those sleep associations to build those brain pathways.
yes. Well said, Trish. That's excellent. That's excellent. So it is
Many.
very individual. Yeah, it is
Mm,
very individual. The routine is great in that are we going to um, I'm picking the breastfeeding.
mm,
But if you're bottle feeding, but if baby's going to have a feed, then baby's going to be winded. Perhaps in the evening time, baby may be going to have a bath, and then their massage and ori or
mm,
what, just that calming down time before baby
mm.
actually goes into bed.
And the
Very
skin to skin is so important. So skin to skin helps mama and Pēpi to feel more relaxed, because it boosts oxytocin, which is your feel-good hormone. And often a crying baby, we get a lot of calls on Plunket line from particularly parents of newborns. My baby won't stop crying. And after we've done the troubleshooting to obviously make sure there's no illness, we ask them to put baby skin to skin and maybe latch onto the breast. And 9 times out of 10, the baby settles.
yeah,
So
yeah.
the crying is Pēpi's voice. This is what I need, mama,
Yes.
papa, and then we got to find out what they need, and that can sometimes be difficult. But skin to skin. The other thing that can help calm an unsettled baby is eye contact. So when you are calm and you have eye contact with your Pēpi, Pēpi's brain waves will mimic the parents' brain waves, and that's an incredibly important tool for parents of newborns. And then as baby grows, those familiarities and associations just build on each other. Sleep deprivation is a big thing for new parents, Donna. Have you got any suggestions around that?
Yes, it has. It has come to, it's now noted in this research that maternal well-being is up there with a risk because mum is being sleep deprived, first baby's just not knowing what to do, not making, they're unable to make really good decisions for baby's sleep or for themselves. So this is where it's really lovely when we're able to go in antenatally and have a chat with the mamas, because, like I was saying before, you need a village, and just have a look around and see who is in my village. Who have I got? If you're in an isolated area with no family or anything around, who can you call on to support you, because you can't do this alone.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
even if you have a very supportive partner, husband, they may need to go to mahi. Most people need to go back to mahi at some time, and then there's no one to help the mum who's at home with this new baby and not knowing. So I'd really encourage anybody while they're still hapu to have a look and see who would you like in your village. Is it an auntie? Is it a friend? Just have those in place, because you will need support. You will need support.
Yes, absolutely. It's so important.
Maternal well-being.
Mm.
Sorry,
And even having a written plan of, this is my phone list, this is my village, and it doesn't need to be huge. It can be 3 or 4 people. You could have Plunket line in there, your midwife, your whānau friends, and just let them know, or just ring if you are feeling like this baby won't stop crying, I don't know what to do. Put that baby into his bed and then just go and ring one of the people on the list. And having that planned in advance is incredibly important, so that mama, when she's in that sleep deprived state and perhaps papa's at mahi, she can just go, okay, my safety plan, I'm going to ring. The other thing that's really important around the safe sleep too, can you talk about the breastfeeding and how that's protective for safe sleep, Donna?
Well, breastfeeding reduces SUDI by over 50%.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah, it's huge. It improves your immune system. It promotes brain development, and it reduces the reflux, and as well as having all those holistic advantages. Yes. So that bonding, it's free. It's a natural nutritional.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yes.
it's food security for
Yes.
babies.
And
You know,
I'd
if there's a
like to
nurse.
say to yes, to mums, if you are having trouble with breastfeeding, to please reach out to a lactation consultant. You don't have to pay for lactation consultants. They've got
We
some
have them
great.
on Plunket line.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah.
Yes. So please
And all
reach
our
out.
Plunket line nurses can give you troubleshooting support with breastfeeding, and then we can organise a lactation consultant to talk to you if needed. So yeah, I mean that's just so important.
Well, so like so many females, everyone's heard there's breastfeeding, and some females think, oh, that's fine. You have baby, you put baby on, baby feeds, it's all good. Well, 9 times out of 10, it's not that easy, and especially for the first 3 to 4 months, can be very difficult. Very difficult. Apart from
Absolutely.
all the natural things of cracked nipples, milk not flowing properly, or milk flowing too far, all these other little things. Hang in there, because it will get better. If you ask for support, it will work out in the
Absolutely.
end. It will definitely
And
work out.
often just knowing what's normal. We get so many mamas call us on Plunket line with breastfeeding trouble. And often we just need to say, yeah, that's normal. Newborn babies will feed every 2 to 3 hours.
Yes.
They might
Yes.
have a little snack on the breast and go to sleep. That's good. That's that skin to skin, which is promoting that oxytocin and the brain
Mhm.
development as well. So,
Exactly.
yeah, just having that support for those first few months while they set up their breastfeeding diet, and that milk supply takes 4 to 6
Yes.
weeks to
Yes.
become established. So, cluster feeding, and little babies that age have very small puku, very small tummies.
Yes.
So, they're only going to have small amounts. Little and often is very normal.
Mm. And that's a good thing that you said, Trish, about the well-being. You have to eat, and this is something else
Mm,
that a lot of new mums forget to do. Apart from not being able to sleep, having regular sleeps, is they forget to eat. They forget to nurture their tinana, and this is
yeah,
where things just start to begin to break down. So again,
absolutely.
we
Self
promote the
care.
tinana.
Mm.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
important. And that might look like sitting in the sunshine for 5 minutes with a cup of tea, take a deep breath, do your breath work. Another thing that's incredibly important for mama and whānau and for Pēpi is to get out in the fresh air, the morning sunshine that promotes sleep actually. It boosts and helps reset the circadian rhythm because that morning sunshine boosts melatonin, which is your sleep hormone. So having a daily walk, even though it might just be walking around the house while you're holding Pēpi. Speaking of holding Pēpi, how about baby wearing? How can we integrate safe sleep principles with baby wearing? Because a lot of mama and whānau these days like to have slings or front packs.
Okay, so there are a variety of slings and front packs. So what
Mm-hmm.
we want to ensure is that, I haven't got anything against, wearing. I mean, our people wore them on their fronts, on their backs, um,
Mm,
in our tupuna days. So what you need to be careful of is how is baby's chin? Where's the head sitting? Is baby in a
mm,
sling where the chin is now sitting on the chest? Because if that's the case, baby's airway is going to be like that. It's going to be kinked.
mm.
So the airway is not clear. It's not open. So you can see the front packs where baby's actually looking out and baby's up and down, it's free, arms
Mm.
free, legs free, and the back is straight.
Yeah.
Um, I would recommend those kind of packs. Not
Okay.
so much where you've got them in the sling and their necks are not straight. Yeah,
Mm.
that
So
just
always
causes
important to maintain that airway, and we could liken it
yes,
to a straw. So if there's a kink in a straw, what happens?
exactly.
The
Nothing's going
drink
to go
can't get
through.
through. Similar for
Mm,
babies with their airway.
yes.
Mm. What about swaddling, Donna?
Swaddling, it depends how you are going to swaddle. So, if you're swaddling baby tight, where they
Mm-hmm.
cannot move their limbs, that's
Mm.
going to cause a high risk of SUDI. If you place baby to sleep like that, swaddled so tight that they can't actually move, that's
Mm.
restricting them,
Yeah.
and place them on their front or their stomach. Obviously,
Mm.
that's going to increase the risk of SIDS. Um,
Exactly.
Swaddling, yeah. Why not use a sleep sack? Or just that you want their limbs to be free.
Mm.
You don't want that restricted. I mean, you can have conversations with such physios, the other ones that do the babies, where some people that have actually swaddled have actually um,
Oh.
dislocated
Oh.
their
Mm.
shoulders, their arms.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're too tight.
Mm.
So to be safe, if you're going to swaddle just under the chest and
So
around,
arms free swaddling.
arm
And there
free.
is I believe there's a video on arm 3, or there's a whole section on swaddling on the plunket.org.nz
Yeah.
website. And
Yes.
swaddling can be good for newborns because they don't like that feeling of space around them. They've just come out from this wonderful, beautiful, compact environment to the world, and it's like, whoa, what's happening? And that's another reason they like to be close to mama. But
Mm,
once you're absolutely right, Donna, that development growth in the first year is so exponential. They can go from doing not rolling one day to rolling the next. And we get a
Exactly.
lot of calls on Plunket line. I put my baby on my back and now they're 4 or 5 months old, they can roll over. What do I do? So once they've got that ability to hold up their head and they start to roll, yes, always put them on their back in their safe
Yes.
sleeping space. But
Yes.
once baby starts to roll, that's the developmental stage of getting mobile kicking in. So they need to have the ability to roll and learn to roll back again. And often they will just end up sleeping in their preferred space.
Yes. Yes. And that's
But
where
by the time they're that age, they can call out if they get stuck.
yes, and in that age group, instead of putting on more blankets to keep baby warm, because they are moving quite a bit, use I mean, that's where the sleeping bags come in really, 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 really well, rather than piling on blankets, extra
Yeah.
blankets on there, which increases that risk of suffocation
Yes.
if baby does get stuck down the side or
Yep.
something. Do that or put more clothes on baby
Yes. I think
rather than
those
blankets.
sleeping bags seem to be quite popular. And I just wondered, going back to your thoughts before when mama's hapu and that preparation, maybe letting whānau and friends know if you want to
Mm,
contribute or give a gift to baby, contribute towards a sleep sack.
yes,
You know,
that's a
that might
great
make it
idea.
more affordable. Yeah, because
Mm,
we end up with hundreds, or not, maybe not hundreds, but it seemed like it when my children were little, soft toys and,
yeah, yes,
you know, something more practical. So giving whānau the practical tips, this is how you can help, this is what we need in preparation is really
yes,
good, I think.
yeah, awesome. And another thing in
Mm,
preparation, I'll just put it out there, is that we do have wahakura wānanga around the country, and if there's someone who is interested in weaving their
wow.
own wahakura for their Pēpi, whether it be the mama, the father, the kuia, the uncle, the auntie. We've had uncles and kuias on before, like second generation great grandparents. Um, that actually it encourages you, one, step out of your comfort zone, or bring whānau with you to support you along to a space that is safe for you to be able to engage with other hapu mama, with other
Yeah,
whānau, with some
wonderful.
cultural background as well. And then your final into the journey is when you actually take away your taonga, your
Oh,
wahakura
wonderful.
for your
Mm,
Pēpi that's coming, and you've put all
mm,
your modi, your own intentions,
yeah.
everything into your own special space for your baby. And also during
Mm,
those wahakura wānanga, actually while you're weaving the wahakura, you are given safe sleep messages as to how you
great.
lay baby, how you position baby, and all
Mm,
the modifiable risk factors are also
wonderful.
in it as you're weaving. So
Mm,
it's a really awesome experience.
yeah,
Um, I'd encourage
wonderful.
anybody to
Mm,
seek out who has those. Hapai Te Haora, they
yeah.
generally have the list of where wahakura wānanga
Mm.
will be around the country.
Okay, that was going to be my next question. Where can whānau find out? But we can organise to put a link in the comments for whānau who might be interested to see if there's one in their region. But
Yes,
absolutely reach out. You know, there's so much support. And again, I think that message of preparation while you're hapu is going to be really helpful later on. So lastly, what other kind of supports out there for whānau wanting to learn more or get advice or just support around this SUDI situation or education?
Well, yeah, it depends if they're hapu. Again, you can go to, you can come on to Plunket, onto Facebook and have a look at what we have available in there.
Yeah,
Again, there's Hapai Te Haora that has all the research sitting there, all the community services that you need. Ask someone. Also, ask someone. I know, like over the years, So we'll go back a bit. So through the 80s and 90s, we've had so many changes in the messaging that has been given, the education that has been given. And in the 80s and 90s, they started a campaign called Back to Sleep campaign. And that was due to the number of increased deaths due to prone sleeping. So, yeah, now through research and with the support of being able to give wahakura and Pēpi pods to support whānau who don't have beds, that has actually increased the education side towards whānau and towards the community. We've still got a long way. I think we still need a lot more media exposure out there to normalise this conversation. But if you are wanting to find out any other information, if you're wanting to have a look on the Plunket page, we also have Hāpai Te Hauora. Your whatu ora within your area also will have a SUDI coordinator. And you can
that's
get
good to know.
Yes, the SUDI coordinator is attached to every Te Whatu Ora branch, and that's how I got started in SUDI prevention. My email is donna.fain@plunket.org.nz. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Wonderful. You're doing such wonderful mahi out there, Donna. So one thing I just want to touch on, so we know that for safe sleep, it's best for Pēpi to sleep in the parents' room for the first 6 months. Now, how long can they stay in the Pēpi pod or the wahakura, and when can they progress? What about co-sleeping, a cot attached to the bed? What's the sort of the progression around that for Pēpi?
Okay, so when I see mama, when I was as a Plunket nurse, if I saw mama 4 to 6 weeks, when baby was 4 to 6 weeks old for that first contact, I asked them then, what are you thinking for the next bed? Because cots are not cheap. You have to plan again. It's about planning ahead. So in relation to Pēpi pods, there's not many babies that would still be able to fit that at 6 months old. So that's why it creeps up on you by the time you have baby. Next minute they're 6 months, and where's the time gone? So it is about planning.
They grow so fast.
Yes, and especially our Māori and Pacific babies, we're kind of big babies. So it's probably around 4 months. And same with the wahakura, depending the size on the wahakura. I mean, obviously in the Pēpi pod, once baby starts flicking their arms and they're going to hurt themselves on that plastic box, you want them out. You want them into another bed. And the next bed can obviously be a cot. That would be your next bed. Some people buy a cot. They buy the cot first and then use the wahakura or the Pēpi pod inside that cot. Inside. Yes, and so that's their expense that they've bought instead of buying a bassinet. They've bought the cot.
Okay, that makes sense.
And
every whānau has their own way, and you develop that as baby grows, don't you? What about, do you have many whānau that use the co-sleepers that are attached to the side of the bed, Donna?
Yes, there are.
Co-sleeper cot,
Yes, there are whānau who do that. I mean, in my practice, I saw a lot. Anyway, yes. So, and there's nothing wrong with those. They're right beside mama. They're completely fine. Again, they have a time, obviously, when baby's going to grow out of it, and that's why we actually encourage them, whānau, to buy a cot instead of buying those separate sleeping spaces. I mean, obviously, if you can afford it, that's fine. But realistically, if you buy a cot and have a small sleep space like a Pēpi pod or wahakura originally, the transition will be easy. Baby will actually know the environment. If the wahakura or Pēpi pod is inside, or bassinet is inside the cot, see what I mean? And they're used to that environment, looking up from where they're sleeping. It's an easy
that comes
transition.
back.
It's an
Comes
easy
back to that
transition.
familiarity, that sense of
Yes,
security. And as baby grows, a lot of parents find that baby doesn't want to sleep in the cot. They'll put them down and they're awake again wanting to do the contact sleep. Contact sleeping is good if you're awake and
yes,
alert,
yeah,
but it's really important that if mama or papa are sleeping, that baby is back in the
yes,
safe sleep
no,
space. And
yes, no,
parents can work as a team around that because, as we said before, newborn babies are awake a lot during the night, wanting to be
yes,
held a lot. And that's good, that's normal. We
mm,
often are asked
mm,
on Plunket Line, am I creating a habit? No, what you're doing is responding to your baby's needs.
yes,
You're building those brain pathways, you're nurturing, and you're developing that connectedness, which helps baby's sense of security as they grow.
yes, exactly. And they need to
Mm.
feel that. They need to feel that love. They need to feel that
Yes.
safety.
Yeah. So it might
Definitely.
be parents taking turns if mum, and having power naps during the day if you need to, if you're doing a lot of
Mm,
nighttime breastfeeding, have someone that can hold the baby, or when baby's asleep, have a little power nap. Set your phone alarm for half an hour. It's very restorative having those little
yeah.
power naps. What about cot bumpers, Donna? Because
So
they
when
used
I
to be
had
used a lot, but
yes,
now we know that they're not okay. Can you explain to whānau who are watching why that's the case?
okay, so I had cop bumpers for my first two boys because
Me
they
too.
looked pretty and you didn't want them to hurt themselves on the cot and it just looked
Mm,
really nice. Unbeknown to me, I didn't realize that you could get stuck in between
mm,
the bumper itself and the mattress or
mm,
in between the cot rails. And that
mm,
was why it is now advised not to put the cot bumpers on. It is
mm,
easy for the babies to get underneath the cot bumpers and either become
mm.
suffocated or strangled with
Oh,
problems.
yeah. And the little strings that tie are a
Yes,
risk of strangulation. And
yes,
also, it blocks off that air that's circulating because we know
definitely.
that we want to maintain a room temperature of about 18 to 20 degrees
Hmm.
for, yourself, if your room's too hot and you get overheated, it's not comfortable. So it's the same
No,
for people.
no, yes. So
Mm,
yes, they do look lovely. The bumper sets around,
mm,
but no, maybe doesn't need a bumper set.
mm.
Yes.
All right. Well, look, I think we've covered so much wonderful subjects today, and unless there's any more questions, we can wrap it up now. Ngā mihi nui to you, Donna, for your expertise, and I really appreciate, and I've learned so much from our kōrero today. So, have you got anything more you want to add before we finish?
Oh, ngā mihi, Trish. Um, I just want everybody out there to, just have a think about if you're happy, have a think about where's baby, going to sleep. What decisions have you made for baby? What kind of support systems do you have around you to support you? Because that's very, very important. And thank you for listening, because this is what we need. It's Safe Sleep Day today, so we have Safe Sleep Day today for SUDI
Oh, yeah.
prevention.
Actually,
Um,
one more thing I want to add just before we close, Donna, is on plunket.org.nz, we have a very good sleep and settling Pēpi course, which is about 90 minutes. There's modules. Whānau and parents can go in, and it covers baby's temperament, what's normal in terms of sleep in the first year, what to expect, how parents and baby's temperament interrelate with each other, and how to develop those sleep signals and sleep cues. It's incredibly valuable, and I'd encourage you all to go have a look at it.
Oh, excellent, Trish. Excellent. Thank you for having me on today. You're a great host, Trish. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Oh, ka
Ngā mihi.
pai. It's been a pleasure. Would you like to close with a karakia, Donna?
Yes, yep, I'll do this one. He noi
Tēnā pai.
tātou. Whakatau mai te wairua. Whakawātia mai te hinengaro. Whakarite mai te tinana. Kia ia ai ngā mahi. Ai. Settle the spirit. Clear the mind. Prepare the body to achieve what needs to be achieved. Yes.
Ngā mihi.
Kia ora te whānau.